Let's talk about the Deus 2 coil battery for a minute. Actually, for a few minutes. I'm gonna tell you a little bit of information, some tips about the Deus 2 and the Deus 1 machine, right? If you've never run a Deus before. I have had some issues with the Deus 2. I've been testing this machine for about 35 days, 36, over a month. 250 hours, about 250 hours of in-field use with the Deus 2 so far. And I do a lot of testing when I get home. But the first thing I do with all my Deus machines and coils is right when I get home from a long day of detecting, I will put it right when I get home. I don't go to the bathroom, I don't eat, I don't upload my videos, I don't watch any videos. The first thing I do is get my Deus coils, my Deus remotes, my headphones, my pinpointers, and get them on the charger immediately, right? Because with the Deus 1 machine, I've had some struggles charging my 9-inch round coil, right? Sometimes I get it on the charger and the light's on, but it's not charging, right? So I have to make sure in the morning, because Jim and I will leave at a moment's notice. You know, I call Jim up or Jim calls me up and we're gone in 15 minutes, right? He comes over or I go over there and we leave at a moment's notice. So I have to have all my stuff charged up. And I have a lot of times 10 to 12 batteries for my GoPro to charge up too. But the first thing I get on the charger is the Deus machines, right? Because you got the remote to charge, you got the coil to charge, you got the headphones to charge, you got the pinpointers to charge. And so I just make sure before I go to bed that all my batteries are charged up for everything for the next day, right? And with the Deus 2 machine, I've had 3 days where my batteries have died on me, right? I only have one coil. I have a 9-inch coil for the Deus 2. And I have not tested this machine all day long in the lower frequency FMF or even lower frequency mono, because it doesn't really perform very great in my hot soil, the lower frequencies on all my machines, right? My Amphibio, my Deus 1, my Equinox, they just don't perform very well in my soil here, right? Some sites I can get away with operating in the lower frequencies, but the lower frequencies take more power, right? More power's having to be delivered to that coil to operate it, right? And I've noticed with my even Amphibio, you know, running at 5 kilohertz, if I do find a site that I can run it in 5 kilohertz or the Equinox in the lower frequencies, I don't ever run the Equinox at 4 kilohertz because just high tones on every single target, even on minerals, right? And with the Deus 1 and Deus 2, I don't really run it at lower frequencies. It just doesn't perform very well in my hot soil. But others out there who you know, want to get deeper targets and want to push the machine, want to get deeper coins or coin spills or relic hunting, I really don't know if it's going to really last a long time. You know, the coil battery life. The remote has good batteries in it. The headphones have good batteries in them. The pinpointers have good batteries in them. But the coils, I've had some issues with the coils, right? With the Deus machines. And with the Deus 2, you know, when I get home, I put all my batteries on the chargers, right? Get all my batteries, you know, I've got a lot of wires and stuff, you know, a lot of chargers for my Deus machines and my GoPro camera batteries. And so I'll get everything on the charger, you know, some batteries for my GoPro on the charger. And I'll charge 6 batteries at a time for my GoPro charger. And they take a long time to charge, right? And when I get home, I put all the batteries on the charger, and then I get my videos all situated, you know, for a few hours, you know, upload my videos, preview my videos, you know, and then post them, do whatnot. And then I start testing my machines. And lately I've been testing my machines, my Deus 2 machine, right? And I only have one coil, so I've already used it for an hour or two, you know, sometimes 3 hours, and then if I try to use it the next day, that's when I've encountered those problems of dead coil batteries, right, with the Deus 2. And I run at higher frequencies. Keep that in mind, right? So I'm not putting a lot of power to the coils. So I run a lot in multi-frequency sensitive full tones program. I've been using that a lot. But it's still a multi-frequency platform there, so I'm going to use a little bit more battery life than just mono 40 kilohertz frequency. But I've never tested the machine. I've never tested the machine in the lower frequency programs or in 4 kilohertz or 5 kilohertz all day long, right? I will be surprised if I would be able to get 5 or 6 hours out of the coil. So tomorrow I'm going to do some testing on it. Hopefully it'll perform in the soil in the place where I'm at, right, in the site that I'm at. Like I said, it doesn't really perform that great in the lower frequencies. All my machines do not like lower frequencies in my hot soil, so it's hard to do a test like that, right? And it's not the same as just leaving the detector on and just letting it sit there until the battery life dies. You know, I need to get this thing out in a real world environment and test it thoroughly, right? For a few days. You know, one day of testing really isn't that great well, I can't really come up with some conclusive results from just one day of testing, right? I have to do it several times, so I'll get back to you guys in a few days on this subject here. But this is not a deal breaker for me because I have multiple machines. I always carry backups. When Jim and I go out hunting, or when I go out hunting, I take multiple machines. That's why I have 2 sets of headphones, two or sometimes 3 pinpointers, right? I always have a backup because I have failures once in a while, right? My batteries die, or you know, something breaks, you know. And if you have one machine and one coil, one Deus coil or Deus 1 or Deus 2 coil, and you want to hunt for long hours, you know, you better have your stuff prepared before you go out in the morning, go out on your hunt, right? And I hunt every day, so I really got to keep that in mind. You know, I got to have all my stuff charged up right in the morning. And I don't want to leave the coil batteries or the remote or the pinpointers on the charger overnight. Not good for the batteries, right? I don't know if it's not good for the batteries, but it's just, with my other machines and with the Deus 2, you have to get in a charging regiment of charging them every day with the Deus machines. With my other machines like the Simplex or Amphibio or the Equinox, I don't have to worry about charging those machines up every day. But if you want to use the Deus 2 machine every day, you have to get in that regiment of charging that coil up right when you get home, right? So you're not leaving it on the charger overnight, right? Is it a deal breaker for me not having a coil that's going to last for 14 hours? No, probably not, because I don't hunt with it in 4 kilohertz or the lower frequencies. But for others, that might be a deal breaker, right? You know, if you want to get a really expensive machine like the Deus, you know, you sell all your other machines or only have one machine, you're going to have some struggles with the battery life if you want to hunt all day long. You know, I suggest getting another coil for it so you're not screwed, because if you only have one detector, you know, you're not going to be able to hunt every day. If you have one detector and one coil and you hunt every day like me, you realize that you need backups, right? You need backups. And hopefully they come out with a bigger coil battery for the Deus 2 machine in the 9-inch coil. I don't know about the 11-inch coil because I don't have 11-inch coil yet. I'm not really into swinging big coils around anyway, right? The jewelry's on the surface. You don't need a humongous coil to search for jewelry. And that's really where the treasure's at, right? Near the surface, right? Cleaning the ground, that surface trash out. But I just hope, I hope XP comes out with a higher frequency coil, a smaller coil for this machine. That's really what it needs, right? That's the #1 recommendation for XP at this moment in time. To get a smaller coil, higher frequency. It doesn't have to be multi-frequency. It can just be a single frequency coil, you know, running up in the 80 kilohertz or whatever, you know, kind of like the Deus 1. But, you know, if they can figure that out, that would be amazing. You know, that would help us out a lot. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.